Habitat Oasis today, and I thought I would do a little bit of a talk about hearing protection. I've seen a number of times people have asked what kind of hearing protection people are wearing for hunting, and they get mixed reactions. There's a lot of people that swear by it. There's a lot of people that that just think it's completely unnecessary and there's no reason to wear hearing protection when you're hunting. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about my experience with hearing protection and hearing loss and why I've started using hearing protection or gotten more diligent about it. I've hunted for about 40 years, and I always felt like we were pretty careful when it came to sighting in guns and repetitive shooting and making sure that we were wearing hearing protection. And a couple years ago, I was at my cabin. I was getting ready for bed. I had a sound machine on, and I laid down on my left ear, and I could hear the sound machine. I could hear the crickets chirping, and after a little while I turned my head, I laid it down on the right side, and all of a sudden the crickets stopped. And that was my first indication that something was up and I needed to get my hearing checked. So I scheduled an appointment with a audiologist for a hearing test and went in, and it was the first time I'd had a really detailed hearing test done. The woman went through, she did a very thorough test, and afterwards she asked me if I was a hunter, if I shot guns, if I had any kind of hobbies that might produce hearing loss. And I let her know that I was a hunter, but that I was really diligent about wearing hearing protection. And she looked at me and she said, well, you need to be more diligent and you need better hearing protection. She then produced for me a chart of my hearing loss, and what she showed me with this was a very distinct drop in both ears that she identified as hearing loss related to gunfire. She sees it in hunters, she sees it in dentists from running a drill, and she sees it in truck drivers from road noise on their left ear. So the pattern is very consistent. It was something, again, there's no question where the hearing loss came from. When she looked at it, she knew one of these three things has contributed to your hearing loss. I think I was 48 at the time, and she let me know at that point. She said, you've got the hearing of about a 70-year-old man. You're not at the point that you need hearing aids, but we need to keep an eye on it. So that was about 3 years ago. This year, I actually went and invested in hearing aids. My hearing has stayed pretty much the same, but I did notice that there were different environments where I was struggling with my hearing. So I went ahead and made the investment, and I'm very happy with it. But since the time of my hearing test, I've also made some changes to the hearing protection that I use. And I thought I'd walk through some of the options that are out there. I want to start with the very inexpensive all the way up to custom hearing protection and give you a little bit of thoughts on what the options are and how you can use them. But the key message I have is pick some kind of hearing protection, and when you're doing something that is producing loud noises, make sure you're wearing it. So I'm going to start off with just the basic disposable hearing protection. I've got a set of the little yellow foam ones that you roll up, you put in your ears. You find these, a lot of people wear them at work. Really cheap, inexpensive. You can have them all over the place. You can have them in the glove box of your ATV. You can have them in your hunting bag. Wherever you want, you can store them. I also have a set of the other disposables that go around your neck, just the little plastic ends that you put in your ears. But these are just a couple of really cheap options that are absolutely better than nothing, and a lot of them are rated fairly similar to some of the more expensive options, but may not have the features that the more expensive options are. So, just the disposable, we use those here and there, but for the most part, we've moved up from the disposables to ear muffs. And these I picked up on Amazon. I want to say I paid somewhere between $12 and $15 for these. They are rated, I don't see it on here, I want to say they're rated for either 24 or 28 decibels of noise reduction. So they're something that I wear all the time. I've got them on the ATV. I keep two sides of them on the Polaris. There are two pair of them on the Polaris. So if I need them, if someone else needs them, I've always got two with me. I keep a set on the tractor. If I'm brush hogging, I use them on the tractor. When we run the sawmill, we're wearing them with the sawmill. If I'm using power tools, if I'm mowing the lawn, whatever I'm doing, I've got these on. I've just gotten to the place that for my profession, it'd be really hard to do it if I were to have total hearing loss. So I just make sure I've always got it. We have also invested in them for the kids. So you can find them out there for the kids, similar price, maybe a little bit cheaper. But if you look at the end of the video in the comments, there's some links where you can find these. So these are some things that we found. I have these, again, literally everywhere. We make sure the kids are wearing them. I know a lot of you are hunting with kids in blinds. Start the kids early. You may not realize the damage you're doing, and it may just be a couple shots, but when that echoes and booms inside of a blind, the sound level is enough to do damage. The idea that you can stick the barrel outside of the gun and that outside of the blind and that's going to protect you, that's not the case. My hearing loss, for years, I didn't hunt out of a blind. I hunted out of a tree stand, I hunted off the ground. I wasn't someplace where the sound level was being amplified. So don't assume that because you're not inside of a building or you're not in a bad situation or a bad environment that you're not doing damage. Chances are you're doing damage. Another version of the ear muffs. This is built into a helmet. Anytime we're cutting firewood, I'm wearing eye protection and hearing protection. So, you know, you can pick this up. I want to say this was, I don't know, in the $50 range. But again, look for links at the end for all this hearing protection. So this is something I wear it religiously when we're cutting firewood. If anyone is shooting guns with us, if we're sighting in guns, we have family and others shooting, everybody's got hearing protection. So we're really religious about it. So let's move on up. Probably one of the brands that is best known for hearing protection and also helping to amplify the sounds in the woods are Walker Game Ear. They've got a variety of hearing protection. They've got some that goes in your ear. They've got the muffs. There's a wide range depending on how much you want to spend. This is a pair. I've never worn these. Josh has worn these and said that he felt like they worked pretty well. But again, I'm not doing reviews of things so much as showing you what your options are. But this is something you jump up to. I want to say that these were in the $50 range. So if you look around, you might find them a little bit cheaper on sale. Poke around on Amazon, you can find them for a good price. But Walker is one of the names that you hear very consistently. I looked into hearing protection like this. I wanted something that when I was turkey hunting, I could hear the sounds in the woods, but that when I fired the gun, I could quickly, it would quickly muffle the sounds for me. So I looked at these and I just decided it wasn't quite what I wanted. I didn't want to have a full earmuff on. I was looking for something smaller. So I actually went on up and bought some custom hearing protection. So the hearing protection I purchased is is a brand called Sound Ear. These are custom made. I was actually the audiologist who did the hearing test for me. In the same building was a company that sold sound gear. So I was able to walk over there, talk to them about this product. And they actually took a mold of my ear, sent it off to Sound Gear to have these custom made. So what I got back was a set of hearing protection that looks a lot like in your ear hearing aids. And I've got some close-up pictures of these that I'll share. But independent hearing aids that you put them in, you turn them on, they've got a couple different settings, but they will amplify sound while you're out hunting. As soon as you pull the trigger and you get that blast, it muffles the blast, but it turns back on quick enough that you still hear the sound going off into the distance. So you don't miss out on the entire sound, only that damaging blast at the beginning. When I was calling about these, I was concerned about, first of all, the price on these. These were a little over $1,000. So you're really stepping up from a $50 set of hearing protection to over $1,000 for these. There are things in between the two, but the more I talked to the company about these, the more impressed I was with these. The guy that I talked to, who was the product manager, he does a lot of upland bird hunting, and he talked about the fact that he liked that he could hear people around him. He got used to having them in his ears. He didn't really notice that he was wearing them, but when he shot the gun, it instantly muffled the sound, so he would wear them all day long. What my experience has been with them is, I really want to be able to hear everything that's going on around me. And when I'm sitting in a deer stand hunting, I don't feel like I get that same level of hearing that I'm getting out of my ears. Even with the hearing loss that I have, I feel like I've got better hearing without these because I'm able to figure out where sounds are coming from. When I put these in, a lot of times if I hear a gunshot, I'm not sure where it came from. If I hear repetitive sounds in the woods, I can figure out where it's coming from. But that single sound, sometimes I would have trouble finding. Where I really like these is when we're shooting guns and we're sighting guns in. I can put these in, I can talk to everybody around us. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything, and if somebody shoots and I'm not prepared for it, the hearing protection kicks in and works for me. So that's where I found that I really like them. I do wear them turkey hunting, I do wear them deer hunting. I keep them around my neck. If I get a gobbler and I'm starting to work a gobbler, I'll put one in my ear so that I am ready. If I hear that turkey coming, if I know he's coming in, at the point at which I've identified the direction, I'll go ahead and put both of them in. I can wear them then for the rest of the hunt. But as I'm sitting there just listening, trying to pick out sounds, I typically will wear them just around my neck until I'm ready to put them in. I think there's a potential for a shot. So those are the options that I wanted to share today. Again, we go all the way from inexpensive disposables, which, you know, when you buy these in bulk, they're probably 10, 20, I don't know, maybe 50 cents a piece to purchase these, all the way up to custom hearing protection that is over $1,000. So a number of options there. My primary message is, you know, you're out there hunting. We know that gun blasts can cause damage, and take the time to wear something and pay for something that's going to protect your ears, because whether you realize it or not, every time you fire that gun without hearing protection, you are doing damage. So that's all I've got today. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have questions, shoot me a message. If this was helpful, hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this with your friends. I mentioned the number of activities that we do where we wear hearing protection. Check out our channel and some of those activities. Thanks for joining, and have a great day.